Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Charlestown Races here on Friday. It is the 23rd of August 2024. I'm going to look to feature 11th race from Charlestown, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also join me tomorrow for my Travers preview from Saratoga. But it's the big night of the year from Charlestown Classic night, and I absolutely love that it's back to a night card. It's been like that post-pandemic, and I absolutely love that they moved it from April to August. I think it's the perfect, race date on a Friday night before a big day of racing tomorrow. So it's all the big riders, aren't stuck in one place. They could all travel here and then travel back to the big card tomorrow. And, it's just, I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite cards of the year, and it's one of my favorite races of the year. So let's get to it right now to handicap the 11th race. It is the Charlestown Classic. It's a grade 2 event going for $1 million purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards here. We have a field of 10 horses entered to go 1,800 meters or a mile and an eighth on the Charlestown Bull Ring track. 3 turns here. Going to take the 5-horse Benduke as a top selection, or Benduke as a top selection. 5, 6, 7, 9 in the superfecta for me. 5, 6, 7, 9 super, top selection 5-horse Benduke, 5-year-old horse, it's the third time I said that today, 5-year-old horse by Gunrunner here. Belmont trains this one. Jose Lascano gets the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the grade 2 Suburban at Saratoga, a mile and a quarter on the 8th of June, and the horse finished second by half a length that day, and he stalked all the way around the race course. He had the lead. Krupe caught him right before the wire, but he ran his heart out that day. I think coming here off the bench, a lesser quality horse is back to a mile and an eighth. I think he can run a good race. Not that he ran half bad last time out, but, I just think, off the bench back to a mile and an eighth is what he wants to do. He ran terrifically an opposite 2 at Aqueduct, a mile and an eighth on the 28th of April. I was there that day, and he ran, like I said, terrifically, winning by 4 lengths on the front, and he just kept going, and probably could have won by more, but he was eased up late by Dillon. That was a fast race with the 99 buyer, 148 and 2 for the mile and an eighth. Nothing bad about that run that day. And then earlier in the month off the bench at Aqueduct over the 1-turn mile and allowance race for 82,000. He won by a head that day, had to be used a lot that day. He sat back early, he slowly moved his way into in the pace, and he got the job done, but like I said, had to be using off quite a bit that day, and also was probably running over a trip he wasn't appreciative to. I think he wants to go a mile and an eighth, a mile and a quarter, and then prior to that at Aqueduct last November, a 1-turn mile and allowance race for 87,000. He finished third by 4 lengths. He didn't break so well, was wide, was lackadaisical, and I just think he needed the race that day. His races before that under Bupa Shamir in the UAE weren't bad at all. He had a very good place behind Salute to Soldier and Algiers in the Maktoum Challenge in 23, and then a decent third in the Thunder Snow Challenge Stakes at Maidan over the mile and a quarter. His race in the World Cup in 2023, he just never really got going. It was a very tough field also, but his races, as here stateside this season, haven't been half bad. He's training well at Saratoga. He could win. Watch out for the local horse, the 6-horse Coastal Mission for Jeff Franco and Arnaldo Bacuchica. When the most recent race victor was over the 7 furlongs, Laurel and the Frank Whiteley, winning by a nose, closing him from the back of the pack with 100 mile. I thought that was a very strong run. Since then, had a very good fourth, I thought, in the Maryland Sprint. Salvatore Mile, he gamed it out to the wire. He nearly broke, nearly won that day. The winner came off the rail to win that day, but this horse, he ran his game hard out that day. And then John Nehru at Aqueduct over the 7 in July, he finished second by 1.5 lengths, where again, he just couldn't get there late, but he ran his hard out. Won against Statebreds over this trip in the West Virginia Brewers Classic last year. He had everything his own way in the front, and he walked to the quarters that day, but it was still a very good run. And then his only subpar race was where he was stuck on the mud on the rail in the Cigar Mile last year, where he just wasn't keeping up. But this year he's run some decent numbers, back to a mile and an eighth. He's training well on his home turf. I'll give him a shot at 6-1, and don't throw out the 7-horse Skippy Long Stocking for Safi Joseph and Jose. He won this race last year by 5 lengths on the front end, where he had some good, okay fractions, not good, okay fractions. Came back to run the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile after that, where he just wasn't catching Cody's Wish, and National Treasure was next star winner, and then he just didn't show up in the Pegasus Way to Wide trip, and he just didn't show up that day. But since then, he's been a pretty good horse. He won the Challenger, won the Oaklawn Handicap, and then, ran okay in the Stephen Foster, and then in the Whitney, just nobody seemed to fire that day. That was a very, very weird Whitney this year. The closers got to him. This horse just didn't show up. But he's training well at Saratoga since the last race. and even money, I would give him a shot on the ticket. But I do think Ben Duke and Coastal Mission, I think those are the two horses to beat. I'm going to definitely do a very nice exact box with those two. But to recap my selection for the 11th race from Charlestown, it is the Grade 2 $1 million Charlestown Classic. Going to take the 5 horse Ben Duke, give kudos to the 6 horse Coastal Mission, and the 7 horse Skippy Lawn stocking, 5, 6, 7, 9 Super, 5, 6, 7 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.